Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
A few nights ago, outside a small Minnesota town, a fire started inside the local chemical plant. And in a blink of an eye, it exploded into massive flames. The alarm went out to all the fire departments for miles around. When the volunteer firefighters appeared on the scene, the am I back on, everybody over there at the station? Oh, okay. I was telling everybody just a few moments ago, before our power went zip, a few nights ago, outside a small Minnesota town, a fire started inside the local chemical plant, and in the blink of an eye, it exploded into massive flames. The alarm went out to all the fire departments for miles around. When the volunteer firefighters appeared on the scene, the chemical company president rushed to the fire chief and said, "All our secret formulas are in the vault in the center of the plant. They must be saved. I'll give $50,000 to the fire department that brings them out intact." But the roaring flames held the firefighters off. Soon, more fire departments had to be called in as the situation became desperate. As the firemen arrived, the president shouted out that the offer was now $100,000 to the fire department who could bring out the company's secret files. From the distance, a lone siren was heard as another fire truck came into sight. It was the nearby Norwegian Rural Township Fire Department, composed mainly of Norwegians over the age of 65. To everyone's amazement, that little run-down fire engine roared right past all the newer, sleek engines that were parked outside the plant. Without even slowing down, it drove straight into the middle of the inferno. Outside, the other firemen watched as the Norwegian old-timers jumped off right in the middle of the fire, fought it back on all sides. It was a performance and effort never seen before. Within a short time, the Norske old-timers had extinguished the fire and had saved the secret formulas. The grateful chemical company president announced that for such a superhuman feat, he was upping the reward to $200,000. And he walked over to personally thank each of the brave firefighters. Well, the local TV news reporter rushed in to capture the event on film and then asked their chief, "What are you going to do with all that money?" "Well," said Ole Larson, the 70-year-old fire chief, "the first thing we gonna do is fix the brakes on that truck." Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. I'm tired already. The first thing we're going to do is fix the brakes on that truck. You better believe it. Good morning, good morning. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations with a big fall tire sale going on right now, and including some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Here now, our caller with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I say to you, thank you for helping us with the pledge. You do a wonderful job. Do it again, please.
Okay, you're welcome.
God bless. Thank you. Nice lady. Right now, let's go to K&R Rental for our weather forecast. And they're located at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Yes, and the number to call to find out more about all the tools, all the equipment you need, from forklifts all the way to lawnmowers. 678-3122. 678-3122. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Open early in the morning at 7 o'clock to serve you. And they've got everything over there. I mean, you name it, they've got it. And also, K&R Rental has Honda engine parts, and you might need for your wheel line. So get a hold of them today, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Here is our weather forecast.
Well, if we can get through today and tomorrow, it looks like we're going to see some sunshine over the weekend. 60% chance of rain showers for today, mostly before noon. Cloudy skies for the afternoon, high of 49. Going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Tonight, 40% chance of rain showers with a low of 35. That's going to continue for tomorrow with a high of 51. As we get on into the weekend, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-50s to low 60s. That's your weather for us. That the rain.
I thank you much. Brought to you by K&R Rental. You bet Roger and the crew. My goodness, they've been in business since 1979, and they will deliver and pick up the power tools and heavy equipment right at your building site, construction site, whatever. K&R Rental, 678-3122. Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle right now.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale time today at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, the sale that works for you. Merv May, Cade Rocky, Lance Udy. You better believe it. Call the number 678-9411 for cattle consignments, sale information. And lots of butcher cows today. Lots and lots of butcher cows coming in from P-Bar S Dairy, Acme Dairy, Oak Valley Dairy, TLK Dairy, and a real strong trailer line run of cattle coming in. Sale time at 11 o'clock at Burley Livestock Sale Yard. The sale that works for you. Sale time 11. Call the number 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I sell them $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Merv, thank you. I always enjoy talking to Merv the day before, getting a run of cattle, and they do a great job. Calls are welcome and appreciated at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. It's Thursday, and we've got a lot of things cooking today. We're going to, of course, go to the chamber, talk to Kyla. At 9:15, we've got our Denny's football giveaway for a great big Grand Slam breakfast. And Rita Ramsey's going to be on the air. We've got Minnecasia School Days with Jeannie Allen calling in. We got a lot of things cooking, but we need your phone calls. So give us a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Today is Lunch Bunch Day. And we will be over at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley at 11:30 for Lunch Bunch. And we also want to say thank you to Walmart and Smith's Food and Hanson Mortuary and Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's. We've got a ton. I mean, a whole bunch of gift certificates to give away, and we want you to be there. If you've never been to Lunch Bunch, come on down. 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and they've got another location of America's Diner at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Really, really good people. Okay, and before we get everything started this morning, I also want to talk about Ramsey Heating and Electric. They've been in business for over half a century. I mean, holy cow, 60 years. They just celebrated their 60th anniversary. And all your heating, I'm going to stick with the heating today, I should say, because It's a little chilly today, man, I'm telling you. And all your heating and electrical needs, they've got all your furnace filters to make sure you stay warm and cozy. Absolutely. They're located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. And they open the doors at 7:30 in the morning till 5 Monday through Friday. The best. Ramsey Heating and Electric, serving you. This next story is one that I started yesterday before a lot of the major networks, most of them didn't carry it, I should say. Fox carried it and a couple others. But it showed the total disrespect for our country. It showed the total disrespect for our forefathers and our soldiers. It showed a total disrespect for what this nation stands for. And I'm talking about a football game between third graders. This is absolutely one of the most pathetic stories that I've ever reported on, because it just shows how nervous and, yes, even afraid we need to be about the upcoming generations to try to keep this country intact with its values and its Constitution. What happened was, at a football game back in St. Louis, between, like I said, third graders, one team decided that they were going to take a knee and basically turn their back on the national anthem and our flag. Now, I have looked at the video. I've studied the pictures. And I'm going to give you this information from what I see and what I have witnessed by watching the video and also the pictures that are available. If I'm wrong on this, and underline these words, I will apologize. The team that showed the disrespect was mostly all black kids and the black coach. The other team, wearing red uniforms, appeared to be mostly all white. And if what happened is true and is justified, my question is, why? Everyone here in America has opportunities that are absolutely unlimited, but you need to put forth some effort to achieve the goals for those opportunities. What really bothers me about minorities in this country is they'll get on television and they'll claim that they're oppressed. They will claim that America is a rotten country. I saw one last night, and it just, honestly, I wanted to take off one of my Justin boots and just throw it through the TV screen. Where else in the world? Name a place. Call me. Somebody correct me. Where else in the world, name any country, are there any sports, any businesses, any education, availabilities, or opportunities as great as they are here in America for all people? This country actually, I would say in the last 20 to 30 years, has really tilted towards and favors minorities. But still they complain, they gripe, they riot, they destroy. For what? For what? That's the question. For what? When a crime is committed by one of their own in their respective minority, they absolutely will riot and destroy for the reason, I think, that they feel they're being picked on and above the law. And these kids, these little kids, 6 years, 7, 8 years of age, they don't have a clue about come here from Sikkim. And they are absolutely being led by bad parents and bad leadership. And that is only going to add to the chaos and anarchy in America for the future. If you disagree with me, at least have the backbone and the spine to call me and let me know. If you agree with me, I'd welcome your call. I welcome anybody's calls. That's how I feel this morning. I've got to pay some bills. I'll wait for your calls. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, make an appointment, 678-1191. Boy, I don't care if you've got a sports injury. I don't care if you're recovering from an accident or surgery, whatever it might be. They can and they will help you. The best of physical therapists working there at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, and the only hydrotherapy pool of its type anywhere around the area. So give them a call, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, absolutely the best serving you. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. I also want to remind everybody about Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox Home Comfort Systems. You may qualify for up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox home comfort system. Keep you cozy indoors. All you have to do is call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459. You call them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You're absolutely correct. The major problem that we're going to have in the future is the minds of the younger generation are being attacked. And this is starting in the education system. They're being taught in a lot of education systems about socialism, communism, Sharia law coming. And you put these things in the young mind at the very early stages in lifetime, and this is what they're going to grow up with.
Well, Tony, how in the...
I had a young person in school today. I would be raising hell when I found out about a teacher teaching this crap in school.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, I'd be on the bandwagon for starting a revolution against the teachers that, in some cases, are being forced by administration to do this sort of stuff, a lot of the programming of young children.
Well, there was a comment made in an article that Deanne helped me find that was written by a gentleman by the name of Don Martin in regards to this case of these little kids playing pee-wee football. And he said, quote, and I want you to respond to this, children of such a young age aren't cognitively capable of possessing a developed and working knowledge of history or the experience of dealing with complex issues of a rapidly changing society, and their coach isn't doing them any favors by radicalizing them. Tony, that says it all.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I said that says it all.
That did prior to World War II to program these young kids, the brown shirts, and the Japanese did it prior to World War II, programming young children to hate anybody that wasn't one of them.
You know, think about this, Tony. If our schools, whether it's kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, college, whatever, would all sit there and they'd say, man, the opportunities in this country are tremendous. The availability of scholarships and attaining funds to go to higher education, to get career jobs and do what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's unlimited in this country. But on the left, all it is tearing apart America, damning America, damning our forefathers, damning everything this country stands for. I'm fed up with it, and I, like you, if I hear of any teacher or any group whatsoever involved in education that continues to damn America, I'm going after them like a junkyard dog.
Yeah, I saw that little football deal at that school there where they wouldn't sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
This is all this politics that's going on, crooked politicians. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you.
If I had a kid in school, there'd be a revolution going on. I found out there was somebody trying to program my kid.
Well, this is disgusting.
I'll tell you what, somebody'd be out of a job.
I agree.
I'd have as many people as I can program to help me get rid of these people that are using these programmings for our young children.
I agree. Tony, it's always refreshing to have you call in. God bless you, and Mary, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. No, it incensed me when I saw the video, and I watched it on the various newscasts, and then I listened to a former Philadelphia Eagle running back last night on television absolutely kind of agree with the kids and the coach and the parents, and I thought, how disgusting. Naturally, he was black also. Every time I bring a story up like this, I run the risk of having some nitwit out in the audience say that I said all blacks. No, I did not. No, I did not say all members of all minorities. But you will have to agree that they're not doing themselves any favors by raising and justifying hatred towards America with the opportunities that are here. And I said yesterday on the program, I don't care if it's the Muslims, I don't care if it's the Mexicans, I don't care if it's the blacks. They have some really, really good people involved in their race. Why don't they speak out against what's going on and try to internally change these problems? That's what I said yesterday, and I stand behind it. Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service at 336 South, 450 West of Paul. The number to call, 438-2485 or 431-8733. You know what? You still got time to prune and trim those trees and get everything ready for next year. And also, it's a great time to be thinking about putting in a new sprinkler system or revamping the old one. All you have to do is give Scott Gano a call at 431-8733, and they will be there to serve you. Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. You get a hold of them today. I mentioned a couple of days ago, I should say, that my wife and I went over and took a tour, thanks to the lovely lady named Holly, to go over to Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living in Burley. I was really impressed, and they had asked me to do some of the advertisements on my program. Well, for a lot of seniors, living at home is not a very safe option because of the isolation. Maybe they're home alone. Maybe there's a lot of safety hazards and injuries available that might kind of come up and hurt them during the day activities. Poor nutrition, missed medication, all of this by living at home. Well, you know what? There are other options available. And one of the great options, senior living offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably at Pomerelle Place. A place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley, 677-8212. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, our children, especially the little children, are so precious. And they need guidance. And these parents of these young children should be horsewhipped. You know, on a buggy whips like you got. You know, and just really give them a good thrashing because they are the problem, not the children.
Well, hold on a minute. Are they not literally biting the hand that is feeding them? This is so disgusting to me because the parents advocated that it was okay. The coach advocated that it was okay. And these kids had a seed planted in their mind that anarchy and chaos and absolute disrespect for this country and this flag is okay. That, to me, absolutely is disgusting because these people absolutely have as many or more opportunities to succeed and have a great life in America more so than anywhere else.
Well, you know, these parents should study how Hitler got his regime going, and we're headed down that path.
All I can say is that when I watch these little children kneeling down in their shoulder pads and their football helmets, and the coach kneeling down on the ground with them during the national anthem, it just absolutely sickened me to think that we have leadership, so-called leadership, as a coach and a staff and the parents advocating disrespect for this great country, America. It just sickens me. Keith, I'll see you at Lunch Bunch, old buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the parents telling these children that represents?
I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, my dear friend. God bless.
That's where it begins at home.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. The 101st Old Settlers Dinner is going to take place this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. Eat at noon. Rupert Elks Lodge. It's going to be good. That's it, plain and simple. You better be there. Gary Shoresman puts it on. And you know when Gary puts on an event, it's going to be first class. This year's theme is the Homesteaders. And boy, it's going to be interesting about a lot of people's, family members from years and years ago. 101st Old Settlers Dinner. 11 a.m. check-in, eat at noon, this coming Saturday, September 23rd, at the Rupert Elks Lodge. Don't you miss it. Call Gary for reservations, 312-1556. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Their stand that there's oppression in the United States does not hold water. Look at Dr. Ben Carson. There's several I can mention that have come from nothing to be great.
Well, Doug, wait a minute. I don't care if it's the sports world. Let's talk about the sports world for a minute. Tell me the percentages of blacks versus whites in the NFL. Every time you see a starting lineup, offense or defense, you're lucky if you see someone else other than a black on the starting lineups. Am I right or wrong? Let's just be blunt about this.
They're probably 80% black.
No, it's closer to almost 90%. Now, let's talk about the money, the opportunities. I mean, most of them are signing million-dollar contracts. Look at the business world. There are uncountable availabilities of people of color and minority to get involved in the business world because of the educational values, the scholarships, everything. I don't see where they have a leg to stand on saying they're oppressed any more than anyone else.
That's what I'm saying. Their argument doesn't hold water. It doesn't. The only oppression that the black people have is themselves and the Democrats, because they keep voting in the people that's holding them down.
I have never in all my life, and I mean this, and Wheels, ride the gain on that feedback, please. I have never in all my life, with all the friends I have of different races, etc., had one single person that's a friend of mine come up and tell me that they feel oppressed in America. I don't care who they are or what they are. And I have traveled around the world more than most. And I've got friends from all over the world. And I've never had them, very successful people, come up and tell me they felt this oppression.
Exactly. And it's taught. It's not, their parents are teaching them, and that should be child abuse. Because when you're born, you're not born knowing that you're black and people will oppress you, and you're not born white knowing that, oh, I got white privilege. It is taught. And the people that are teaching this to kids should be brought up on child abuse, because it is mental child abuse.
You look at all the fields of endeavor in this country and all the educational opportunities that are out there for people to get to college and get a higher education or do whatever they want to do. I don't care. You mentioned Dr. Ben Carson. He came from the slums. He belonged to a gang. He could have gone right down Skid Row and stayed there for the rest of his life, but he didn't. He chose to take the personal responsibility to make something out of the years that God gave him on this earth, and he became a very highly successful surgeon, and he has done a lot to pay back society.
He has, and that's right there. That's one of my points. If you want to be oppressed, you're going to be oppressed. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get. But if you don't want to be oppressed and you want to improve yourself, then you can improve yourself. It is all up to you.
It is a mindset.
Amen. I know I'm going to get a lot of racist comments. I'm going to get a lot of bigot comments. I'm going to get a lot of hate monger comments. But you know, if people will really honestly look in the mirror and state only the truth, today in the United States of America, there are opportunities that are boundless. I mean, they go on and on and on and on. If you want to put forth a little effort to achieve them.
Exactly. And let me ask a question here. 10 years ago, did we have all of this problem with the blacks feeling oppressed?
I think, and I'm going to be blunt again, the Obama 8 years exacerbated and really made the heat on the oven boil the water worse than it has been since back in the 60s.
Exactly. He has tore down most all of the strides we have made for racial discrimination in this country and lit the fires again to bring them up.
Well, look at
him and Jesse Jackson and that little pipsqueak, I can't think of it.
No, I can. I give you the name, and I can't stand the man, and I'm absolutely going to denounce him every time I get a chance, as Democrat from Illinois, Luis Gutierrez. And then the other side of that story is also Maxine Waters from California. That woman gets up at every single opportunity behind a microphone and condemns and damns the president, yelling for impeachment or worse, and she gets away with it. This is the kind of lack of leadership that the minorities are listening to, and it's causing nothing but chaos.
It is. It really is. And our justice system isn't helping either at all, because if they're going to go after any Russian collusion, then they should look at it on both sides instead of just look at it on the Republican side.
Amen.
And that's another reason why we're getting divided and why people are screaming and hollering like they are, is because it is not fair. The door only swings one way. And if you and I would have done 1/4 of what Hillary done with national secrets, we would be looking out of a crossbar hotel. We wouldn't be out walking the streets.
I am amazed. I am amazed at how this woman, her husband, and the Clinton Foundation, and all the people that have their fingers in the pie have not been arrested. I've got to go, Doug. I'm running way late. Thank you.
God bless.
All right, buddy.
Take care of your senior centers out there.
Amen. Hey, don't forget, like I said earlier, Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox with their indoor comfort systems. You better check it out. It's within your budget. And don't forget, you might qualify to get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox home comfort system. Check with Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459. Also, real quick, I want to remind everybody, too, about Barry Equipment and Rentals, sales, service, and parts, South Lincoln and Jerome, and Addison Avenue West and Twin, along with 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, my. Hello, Juan. How you doing? They've got all the Bobcats over there, and let me tell you what. They've got negative interest on all Bobcats. I'm not kidding. That means the interest on a machine is subtracted from the price. You better check it out today. All the great equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, everything there for you to get the job done right. Barry Equipment and Rental, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. You stop in and you see them today. We've got a sale coming up here I want to talk about. And I want to talk about who's putting it on, because he's a good old boy and a good friend of mine for almost 50 years. Man, we're old. The Bennett Boys Auction Service with my old partner, Joe Bennett. And believe me, they get the job done right. No sales too big, no sales too small. The Bennett Boys do them all, and they do a great job. Coming up this Saturday, they've got the Geraldine Duncan Estate Auction in Buell this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. You'll see all about the signs and directions, 801 7th Avenue North in Buell. And then on the 30th of September, the Delbert Barnett Estate Auction over in Gooding. We'll be telling you more about that. Bennett Boys Auction Service. You better get a hold of them today. Over 48 years in the business. Joe Bennett knows what he's doing with the Bennett Boys Auction Service. You check it out today. Call them at 539-0111. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You think about this just for a minute. When your kids go off to school every morning, think about the character. Think about the values. And think about what they are going to do 20 years from now to lead America. They're going to be taking it over. Many of us will be gone. But think about the value system that we should be teaching them and really putting in their heads about the greatest country in the world ever, the United States of America. And then think about these parents back in St. Louis. Oh, I thought it was great that you sat down during the national anthem. You showed them, Johnny. And all those parents are doing is teaching an attitude of disrespect, anarchy, chaos, and complete liberalism to where America cannot survive. I'm just teed off, I guess is the best way I can say it and still be legal on the air. That what Colin Kaepernick started in professional football has now poisoned, I'm going to use that word, poisoned our youth, little kids in America. Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. I want to remind everybody about Harris Plumbing. I absolutely am a believer. Harris Plumbing NG, Nathan Harris's staff, they are the best. They've proved it to me. Dedication to perfection. When they do a job, they do it right. You will be satisfied. For all your plumbing needs, don't forget to give them a call. 431-8633. That number again, 431-8633. Harris Plumbing NG, the best of plumbing. And believe me, they will get the job done with service and experience. Harris Plumbing NG. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I am with you on this thing with those kids who took a knee. That is amazing to me, and the parents are 110% responsible for this. And if it doesn't turn around, that generation of kids are going to wreak havoc on our country.
Don't you?
And I just don't understand it. I know that I have two little granddaughters that are in school in the Kansas school district, and our oldest one is just loving school, and she doesn't come home with negative reports like that. So I don't know. I think the educators of the United States need to get together and decide whose side they're on, because they depend entirely on taxpayer money.
In my opinion, Chris, and again, I want you to chime in if you think I'm wrong. I've got big shoulders. In my opinion, what we are doing and allowing to happen in this country through these absolutely disrespectful parents and the coaching staff, this is going to have a snowball effect. Well, little Johnny over at this school did it. I think I'll do it too, because I think I'm cool if I act like Colin Kaepernick. And the more that you do this, and the more that it's allowed, and the more that it's accepted, you have absolutely destroyed any chance for harmonious race relations in the United States, and you have divided this country, and chaos is going to ensue for years to come.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we should have seen this coming, because we've seen the disrespectful teenagers who have been showing up in the schools and what have you, and parents haven't been rolling them back. So those kids are now the parents.
Yeah.
Golly gee, what's going to happen when these kids are after them? It's just going to be a riot on every street corner.
Would you please tell me what teaching tool of goodness is being taught by telling people to disrespect the country and the flag?
somebody who has been spoon-fed from the day they were born, and they don't appreciate this country, and they still expect to be spoon-fed the rest of their lives, and yet they don't want to pay a dime in taxes.
It's
just, we want it all. You guys pay our way.
Yeah. When you turn on the television and you see the thuggery of Black Lives Matter, and you see the absolute destitute feelings of anything for America from Antifa, what are your thoughts? They're not going to be good. They're not going to be geared like, oh, those people, why they're oppressed and they have nothing. You know what? I would say this. If today, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, every one of those people had to go get a job, they had to become self-responsible, they had to care for themselves, they had to pay their rent or their mortgage, they had to pay for their own food, you know what? I don't think that you'd see too many out there burning and breaking windows and looting and everything else, because we've been too soft on those people in America.
Well, the problem is if we tell them they've got to go get a job, they don't qualify for anything either.
Yeah. I just worry about the kids. When I saw these little bitty 8-year-olds kneeling and they don't have a clue. Come on, Chris. They haven't got a come here from Sikkim attitude. They don't understand the politics of the situation. They were being led by adults.
Right. There were adults who were figuring, let's do this and see what kind of attention we can get.
Amen.
And all of a sudden, they've really put in the minds of those children that when they don't want to do something, they can take a knee.
Yeah, it sickens me.
They're going to do it to their own parents, too.
Yep.
That's how it comes back to you.
I've got to do a weather forecast, but I got to tell you, of all the stories I've covered in the last 3 months, Chris, this one sickens me the worst. Thank you for calling. God bless you. Weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And by golly, Dr. Christine Pickup is absolutely the best at her trade. She understands all about sound. She understands all about hearing. Every time I visit with her, I'm amazed at her knowledge about hearing and sound, or the lack of, and all the different things that are being done. I mean, you really need to, if you're noticing some hearing deficiencies, call today for an appointment, 312-0957. They're located right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, here's the weather.
Well, if we can get through today and tomorrow, it looks like we're going to see some sunshine over the weekend. 60% chance of rain showers for today, mostly before noon. Cloudy skies for the afternoon, high of 49. Going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Tonight, 40% chance of rain showers with a low of 35. That's going to continue for tomorrow with a high of 51. As we get on into the weekend, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-50s to low 60s. That's your weather for us. That was the Rams.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Number to call, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. You call them today. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I got to tell you that another story that just really sickened me was the story about Chicago, Illinois. And they're not bright, not good, criminal, I'm going to call him what I think he is, Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Do you realize that since the first of the year, there have been 500 homicides in Chicago since January 1st. 500. And over 800 carjackings. People driving up to the stop signs. And literally the doors are being smashed open or the windows smashed and people drug out of their own cars doing nothing wrong, and these punks are taking their cars. 500 homicides in Chicago. So, what does Rahm Emanuel say or do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He is devoting his time to preaching against Donald Trump and the Trump administration And he is really taking almost 80% of his time saying, oh, well, we've got to do something about climate change. The idiocy of the Democrats and the incompetency of the Democrats is absolutely shameful. Here's a guy that has a city with over 500 murders in less than 9 months. And he's saying, well, we got to do something about climate change. We got to go against Trump on this. And the city has added 100 police officers to help stop the violence. But here's the caveat on this. They may have added 100 police officers, but 438 are retiring. They said, that's it, we quit. And another almost 400 have put their paperwork in and said, it's not worth the scare every day of not knowing whether they're going to go home and see their family. Oh boy, they added 100 cops, and over 800 are retiring. It's a war zone, it's absolute chaos, and it's being led by the Democrats. It's absolutely sickening what's going on in America. And this man, Rahm Emanuel, all he does is stand there and berate the president, berate anything this administration is doing while he preaches about climate change and sanctuary cities. That shows you how bright they really aren't. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Well, I have just a moment. I want to remind everybody about our major sponsor, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, where doing the right thing matters. All your car tires, all your pickup and SUV tires, they're having that big fall tire sale right now. And the way the weather looks outside today, better get ready for the fall and winter driving. And along with that, the best in brake service and front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. Oh, now I want to highlight that again, batteries. Colder weather, make sure your battery that you have currently is going to stand the load, and if not, you better get a new one, because you don't want to be stranded someplace with the turn of the key and it goes click, click, click. Stop in today and see any one of the 7 locations, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. In kind of a related story, I noticed that voter ID, I got flies in the office here this morning, and I said yesterday, when you hear this, it means I'm on attack, and I'm trying to get rid of them. They're making their last hoorah, and I've got about 2 or 3 here this morning that have really bugged me. Another story I wanted to touch on is the voter ID law down in Texas. It's under siege by the liberal Democrats, and they have come out and said that voter ID is bigoted and racist. And I just absolutely do not understand why proving who you are at the polls is bigoted, racist, and discriminatory. You got to help me on this one, folks, because as a voter and a citizen of the United States of America, I am proud when I walk into a polling place and they ask for my identification. I'm proud to let everybody know that I voted. But they come out with the sleaziest, dumbest excuses, and well, it's just too hard for someone to go and get an ID. What? You know, where really can you go? What really can you do? And a lot of purchases, what can you buy or not buy without having identification? And what is so doggone hard or intrusive of people knowing who you are when you say you are that person? driver's license, getting on an airplane, maybe you're younger, trying to buy alcoholic beverage. I don't care what it is. Why is it that all of a sudden when it comes to voting, the Democrats raise holy heck because having an ID is discriminatory or bigoted? They're nuts. We're going to take a little break for about 7 minutes and then come back with more. And we've got a whole bunch of goodies this next hour. You stay tuned. Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, take us to the news. Morning. Weather's not really going to be a good day at the beach. I'll tell you that. Hey, good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, and they're having a big fall tire sale right now. And also some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services, it's true. Always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. You know, they've got the portable storage units, the Go Minis, and you can store them once they deliver it to your place and you fill it up. Then, if you don't want to store it on your property, they can store it over at their property where it's all locked up and protected. I'm telling you, this is a neat deal. Check on the Go Minis today at Western Way Services. Always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Also want to remind you, too, about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. Don't forget, whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. All you need to do is find out more about Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric, and they can save you money. Call the number 678-0459. Thank you very much. And before we go to our guest, I also want to say every day on the program, I am so fortunate, bit my tongue again, doggone, injury, to have our dear friends like Hanson Mortuary with Joel Heward, the manager, and his family and the staff. You talk about flexible hours. They are not 9 to 5. No. They are there when you need them to help you with all the arrangements when there's the passing of a loved one. And remember this, and it's true, always upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please, write the number down. Remember the number, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Well, she did an outstanding job on Tuesday as we talked about jobs and availability, et cetera, and here now, again, from the Chamber of Commerce is Kyla. Good morning.
She has not called in yet. I've been trying to call her, but nobody's answered.
And your voice is quite a few octaves deeper than Kyla's. So if you'd keep trying to get a hold of them at 679-4793, I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. While I'm waiting patiently, or maybe the word is better served as impatiently, also want to tell you about some more of our great advertisers on our program. And I want to talk a little bit about his... This is called padding time, because I didn't have this prepared right now at this moment, but want to remind you about our dear friends over at Scott Jackson Trucking. Holy Holy smokes. Here is an opportunity for you to join the Scott Jackson Trucking family. It's just a phone call away. All you need to do is call them at 324-3004, 324-3004 for more information about how you can join a real team of professionals. Scott Jackson Trucking, 311 Rose Street in Jerome. Fully licensed and insured to haul all over the Northwest and Canada. Give them a call today. Competitive wages, benefit programs, a lot of great things going on with Scott Jackson Trucking. You call them at 324-3004. Wheels, what about it? Do we have our friends from the chamber on?
No, sir. I haven't been able to get a hold of anybody. It just goes straight to the machine, and then I try to press for Kyla, but she's not answering her phone in her office either.
Well, holy buckets. All right, well, keep trying, buddy. Keep trying. I don't know what happened, but normally at this time we always visit with our friends over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. If somebody knows a cell phone number or whatever, give them a call and say, Zeb's looking for you, so please give him a call. A little bit later on this morning, we're also going to have Gary Shoresman on the program, and he's going to be talking about the 101st Old Settlers Dinner. I'm telling you, this is going to be this Saturday, September 23rd, and check in at 11 o'clock. Eat at noon. What are you going to eat at the Rupert Elks Lodge? A great big turkey dinner. This year's theme called the Homesteaders, and this is really going to be interesting. A lot of families with their great-great-grandfathers and great-great-grandmothers, they're going to learn a lot. I urge you to call Gary Shoresman for reservations today. Anything he puts on is always first class. The number 312-1556. 312-1556 for reservations. Gary Shoresman at the 101st Old Settlers Dinner this Saturday at the Rupert Elks Lodge. High noon. Everybody try to be there. I can hear my wife out in the other room, and I think she's talking to somebody over at the chamber, and hopefully we've got somebody lined up. Deanne, what did you find out in our search for the Chamber of Commerce?
Damon is on this. No, not Damon.
No. Okay, we're trying to figure it out. Okay, quickly. And call. Meanwhile, we'll take some calls. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call if you would, please. And we'll talk about anything. Now, today, I should mention this. I should have mentioned this more than once or twice this morning already. Lunch bunch at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant in Burley. My. We have a great list of donors for the gift certificates. Walmart, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, of course, Denny's. So everybody try to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun, 11:30 today. Wheels, I hear you clearing your throat. Do we finally have someone?
Yes, sir, we do.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Why are you late?
Hi, Zeb. I am on a North Side bus. We are headed to the first day of our chamber leadership class, so I apologize. We've been having a lot of fun here. This is a great class that we offer through the Chamber of Commerce. We have a lot of folks that are taking it. They'll be with us for the next 8 months. They meet once a month, and it's just a really in-depth look at our community and everything that it has to offer, and making a lot of new friends. So I apologize. I wish you were on the bus here with us. It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you, really, there's no problem. Just send your cash, check, or money order to Zeb Bell, Murtaugh, Idaho, and we'll be more than happy to take your $500 penalty.
I think I will take it. I deserve it. Thanks, Zeb. No, I think we're actually passing by your place as I'm speaking, because we're taking the back highway today. You're just kind of tooling around. So anyway, but I know that a lot of people have been asking us about the leadership class. It started today. If you're interested, you can still catch us. We'll start again October 19th is going to be our next one. So give us a call at the Chamber, 679-4793. We'll be happy to tell you all about it.
Well, now, just exactly, it sounds like you've got a whole bunch of people on that bus. How many people are with you right now?
Actually, right now we only have about 12. We have several that couldn't make it today. And, today one of our challenges is we are headed over to the CSI ropes course to talk about testing some of your leadership skills. I can't wait to see what they're going to have for us to do today. especially with the rain, so it's going to be kind of exciting.
Anything else coming up in the next couple of weeks that you want to highlight as far as what's happening in the Mini-Cassia area or around the Magic Valley?
Sure, yes. Actually, there's several events, and so the best thing I want to encourage people to do is get onto minicashiachamber.com and go to the events tab, click on that, and I was speaking with someone yesterday, and they were actually adding their event to that calendar. And the fun part is we have a lot of people that are already, Zeb, putting on the holiday events. I know, I feel like we're putting all the stuff in the store early, but I understand why. They want to get, all the stuff that's coming up down the pipe on that calendar. So I just want to encourage everyone, go ahead. If you know that event is coming up in October, November, December, or even January, to go ahead and get it on the calendar as early as possible. That just lets lots of people know what's going on.
I want to compliment you. We've had quite a few people call my cell phone after the program on Tuesday. You did an outstanding job explaining the employment situations here in Magic Valley.
Well, I appreciate you having us on your show, and we appreciate, working for the community. And I hope we get to chat some more, because this is a pretty important issue, not just for Mini-Cassia, but for all of southern Idaho. And so I appreciate the opportunity very much, Zeb.
Okay, now, what did you say is going to take place today? I mean, what kind of a leadership conference is this? Give us a little explanation quickly.
Sure. So 2004, the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce has put on its leadership class, and so a lot of different businesses or individuals send one person. Sometimes they send two. It just depends on what they want to do at their business to the leadership class, and it's a really great opportunity to get an inside look into a lot of other businesses here in the Mini-Cassia area, as well as continue to enhance your leadership skills. You're going to hear from lots of different presenters and get to see their places of business and how they operate. And I think even for folks who are like, say, a fifth-generation Idahoan and have lived in the Mini-Cassia area their whole life, to someone who's brand new at a company and just moved here, everybody gets something out of the class, whether it's, I had no idea that's what they did here, or they just meet a lot of new people. And as you know, business really centers around relationships. So it's a great class. It has a lot of skills in it, as well as just the opportunity to see inside some places that sometimes don't normally offer tours or insight into how they do business, simply because of the different, FDA regulations or things of that nature. So
absolutely.
The class meets every third Thursday, and we kick it off today.
There is no such thing as a boring, old yawner day for you, is it? I mean, every day is kind of a new challenge.
It is. It is. Some people ask me, well, do you have a routine? And I said, about the most routine thing I can do is answer the phone or check the email. But even that gets exciting on different days, too. So we're very grateful to the community, and we're grateful for the support. And, even all the visitors that come in, it's different every single day. So we just want to thank everyone for everything that you're doing.
All right. What are one or two of the 12,300 ways to contact the Chamber of Commerce?
I think the best way is probably by phone, and that's 208-679-4793, or hop on chamber.com to check out those events, or just call, stop on by. We're located right there in Hayburn next to the river.
All right, Kyla, thank you so much. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Stay dry.
Yes, you too, Zeb. Take care.
Thank you much. Chamber of Commerce, Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, and Kyla, and she did do a really good job the other day talking about job employment opportunities here in Idaho. Great job. We're going to give away a breakfast to Denny's Restaurant in just a moment, so you stay tuned. I want to remind you, too, about our friends over at Let's Ride. I'm going to go over there this afternoon, as a matter of fact, and see those good folks. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And I know, you don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. Winter is just around the corner, and they've got all the new 2017 snowmobiles coming in every day. You better stop over. And they've got great deals on dirt bikes and four-wheelers and side-by-sides and all the accessories. Holy buckets, and professional people over there. What a service department, Tyson and the whole crew. You get over there. Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. It's true. This is where the fun is sold, believe me. And when you're over in that area, maybe you better call ahead first to talk to Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Make an appointment. These are the professionals in the insurance industry, and they can help you with your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more for you, your family, and your business. Don't put it off. Come on, give them a call, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, serving you. Every Friday during football season, we have the Denny's Football Trivia Breakfast Giveaway, and you can win your own Grand Slam breakfast and pick any 4 items and make it your own at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, 611 Overland in Burley. Holy cow, I'm telling you, great food. We're going to be there at 11:30 for lunch bunch today. Here's my question, and if you know the answer to this, you could win the Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's. And the number to call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Here's the question for this morning. Jim McMahon, Gail Sayers, and Mike Ditka all played for this particular professional football team. Jim McMahon, Gail Sayers, Mike Ditka, all played for this particular NFL team. What was the name of the team? Holy smokes! Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Chicago Bears.
Who is this?
Doug.
Have you ever won before?
Not a Grand Slam breakfast, no.
Well, you just did now.
Hot dog.
No, hot breakfast.
Oh, hot breakfast.
There you go. Yes, I'll put your name down, and you are the winner. Doug Martin wins because Jim McMahon, Mike Ditka, Gail Sayers all played for the Chicago Bears. Doug, God bless you, man. Congratulations. All right, there he goes. Doug Martin, congratulations. And let's take a look at what's going on in high school football starting tomorrow evening, and let's see what we've got here. The Burley Bobcats are playing Twin Falls. Woo! And then we've got Canyon Ridge playing Jerome. And let's see, we go on down to the Minico Spartans. They're taking on Bonneville. That'll be a good game. And let's see, Wood River Wolverines taking on Kimberly. Another good game. The Buell Indians are playing Wendell. Filer takes on Shelley. The Gooding Senators, Priest River. And that's going to be on Saturday, actually, at 2 p.m. And let's see, the Declo Hornets are taking on Teton. Another good game. Wendell's playing Buell. The Glens Ferry Pilots are taking on Oakley. And Hagerman's taking on Grace. Glens Ferry is going to play Oakley. I said that a moment ago. And let's see what else have we got cooking here. Shoshone's playing Notice this weekend. The Valley Vikings are taking on the school from Wells, Nevada. Lighthouse Christian is playing Camas County. The Cary Panthers will be going up against Castleford. And Dietrich Blue Devils playing Richfield. A real close community rivalry. Murtaugh is going to take on Hanson. And let's see what else have we got. Richfield playing Dietrich. And those are the prep games coming up tomorrow evening and also on Saturday for this weekend. So lots of good high school football, and be listening every week at about this same time for the Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner Football Grand Slam Giveaway. Thank you to Thomas and Terry and the whole crew at Denny's, America's Diner. Gotcha. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about, and we've got some time here before Rita Ramsey comes on. While I'm waiting for your phone call, I want to remind you, too, about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, 436-3200. They make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place for your loved one. Maybe you have a loved one in your family that needs that little extra one-on-one care. Well, they really go out of their way to make every effort to make sure that Autumn Haven is the best place. It's the only assisted living facility in the Rupert area, and they absolutely encourage you to come by, see the facility, ask questions. They would love to see you. Call them. 436-3200. They're located, as I said, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. All righty, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Remember Curt Schilling? This guy, a Hall of Fame pitcher, absolutely is doing so much as a humanitarian. He personally has raised the money for a great big cargo plane to go down to Puerto Rico and help with the devastation down there. I mean, man alive, they've had no power. The island was hit twice in a row with hurricanes. It's absolute total devastation. And I really take my hat off to Curt Schilling, organizing, and most of the money initially coming out of his own pocket, a humanitarian kind of a rescue effort down to Puerto Rico. And I just really applaud him. And also this morning, after that absolute terrible earthquake in Mexico, our thoughts and prayers go to those people in that area. It's just really devastating, and I think the numbers of the dead in Mexico are going to exceed way over 1,000, and our hearts go out to those people. A lot of suffering. Another story that when I saw this, I couldn't believe. If we were to give a trophy once a week for the most stupid person in the world, this man would win it in Coolidge, Arizona. His name is Victor Pratt. What did he do to be so stupid? He is at one of his children's birthday parties in Coolidge, Arizona. I've been there. And in the backyard, as they're getting the barbecue all set to go and everything, a rattlesnake slithers through on the back lawn. So this father decides that he's going to show off a little bit, and he goes over and grabs the 3.5-foot long rattlesnake by the head and the tail, and he lays on the ground and pretends that he's taking a bite out of the rattlesnake. Well, that wasn't good enough, so he stands up and he goes over to the barbecue, and he tells everybody that he's going to Barbie the rattlesnake. And upon holding the rattlesnake fairly close to the heat of the barbecue, I think you're already ahead of me. The snake decided that's enough, not going to hold me anymore, and he wrestled out of the man's grip and bit him in the chest and then bit him in the face. Well, this man, being of the NRB club, which stands for Not Real Bright, after being bitten twice, he said, "I think I'm in trouble. We've got to go now." So they had to rush this guy to the hospital, and they had to take all the preventative methods with all the injections and the antivenom and everything else. And at the very end of the story, after 5 days of being in intensive care in the hospital, this guy said he is done with venomous snakes. And he said, quote, "I ain't going to play with snakes no more." This man qualifies for the Dumb Award of the Week. Can you imagine? At a birthday party for little kids, he's going to show off and grabs a snake and lays on his back on the ground. I got a picture of it right here. And pretends that he's biting a snake in the middle. And then he stands up and goes to the barbecue. And the old rattler said, "Enough of this." And then the guy ends up getting bit twice on the chest and right on the cheek on his face. Yeah, he really showed those kids how smart he was, didn't he? Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's see if she's ready to go. We have on Thursdays our dear friend Rita Ramsey, and we'll see if she's on the phone line right now. Rita, are you there?
she's calling in right
She's
now.
calling as we speak. That is a miracle. Why, I just suggested to her to call, and there's that phone ringing. Holy cow. Good morning, Rita. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good.
Did you hear about my Dumb Person of the Week award?
Sounds like something would happen when it's like, man, this is working out so good, and you just make a real idiot of yourself.
You know, why in the world would you want to tempt fate? I mean, come on. At a children's birthday party, you pick up a 3.5-foot rattler and pretend on the ground that you're going to take a bite out of him, then stand up and try to put him on the Barbie. Ain't going to be good, Rita.
I don't think so. I think he should have learned how to make animals out of those long, skinny balloons.
Like that. Oh, Rita, I don't even know where to start in the news, but we'll start with Rocket Man. What did you think about Trump's speech at the UN? I thought it was good. I thought it was refreshing. I thought he put a lot of people back on their hip pockets. I thought it was great. What are your thoughts?
Well, I thought it was excellent. It was about time that somebody from our country started saying those types of things. We've thought that for years and years. My big concern is that he comes back to the White House and says, not really. Because that's happened with 2 or 3 things that he did, and we thought, man, this guy's going to make a difference, and then he kind of backs out of it. So I hope that he will stay firm with this. He needs to. Other countries need to be paying more of their fair share, and the UN needs to start making an evaluation of what they're doing, what they're spending money on, because all they're doing is siphoning money from us, and we're not getting anything for it except a bunch of immigrants that are coming here that probably want to do harm to us.
Rita, I was really taken aback, and I knew somewhat of these figures beforehand, but it really was amplified when Trump said, hey, wait a minute. The United States is putting up 22% of the money for the United Nations. Now, there's 193 member countries. I was not the best at mathematics in high school and college, but when you take 22% for one country and there's 193 countries, somebody's getting a free ride.
Yeah, and it's us paying for it. And that's the problem that's bad about letting somebody else be in charge of your stuff. I've heard a number of people say, and I feel this exact way, is that we need to be in charge of what we're doing. When we have military working along with UN, we need to be in charge of us, not let them be in charge. That's where we've got into a lot of issues, is letting the UN dictate what we're going to do and what we're not going to do, and by the way, hand over the checkbook. We have got to be in charge of our own things and do what we know to be right, because the UN, if you were to start digging and find out where all of their money and everything was going, I think that you would find that there is a lot of it that is siphoned off and not ever done good anywhere except in the pockets of those who have put it for their own personal gain.
Absolutely, and why we, the American taxpayers, haven't been outraged for a long, long time about this. 22% from one country, us, plus the location and everything else. I'm really upset about this. Everybody chip in the same percentage or whatever, but this is ridiculous, and I'm glad Trump bought it up to the whole UN Assembly, because I think a lot of people were unaware as to how we're being taken for a ride.
Well, I think that's right, and it all boils down to knowledge. You know, there's many things that the UN have their fingers in. The climate change is the very basic and the very base of it. 35 years ago, they started in with this climate change thing. It was hijacked, and meanwhile, we're pumping in more and more and more and more money, and they're being in charge of this, that, and the other. And then, of course, they're the ones who are the Agenda 21 people. That's where that all started. You've got the UN supposedly going in and taking care of these third world nations that are full of poverty and have these Muslims that are causing all kinds of havoc. And remember the 22 girls that came up missing in that South African community. And UN is going to go in and see if we can find them and help out this and that and the other. I mean, the UN just doesn't do anything. UN was involved in that Bosnia deal and everything else. The problem is that the UN is a place for money laundering, and that's where it all starts, and that's the main crux of it. The reason why people don't get too involved in it once they know about it is, I don't know whether you've seen it or not. I know many people in the Mini-Cassia area have seen it. There's a sign out on the freeway at exit 211, just as you get on the freeway or as you're coming past there, and it says, "Get the U.S. out of the UN."
Right, right.
That was put up by an individual who owns that property. And within a year's time, more probably less, the people who put that sign up had black ninjas holding their company hostage for a full day.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And first of all, the Minidoka County sheriff didn't come and do anything about it. He just let them go in there. And the federal government had those people under siege for a full day. They went through, they started going through their products, hauling some of their products off, and when the Fish and Game found out that the Idaho Fish and Game had done it, the guy over them said, "You get that stuff back there." The federal government has yet to file any charges against that company.
Uh-huh.
And it's just curious how that could have happened within just a few months of putting the sign up that says, "Get the UN out of the U.S."
You know, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was also a duplication of that sign between the two exits in Jerome.
I do not know about that. I haven't been down that way. I'm only familiar with the people and the business and that happening because I remember the day that sign was put up. And I remember why it was put up, and those people are patriots, and they have been the type that it's like, just let us do business. We'll stay within your laws and everything else. And it's proven that they stay within the laws. You know, they work, kind of around the world with different types of products and stuff, but they've stayed within the laws, and the federal government couldn't come in after they went through all of their books and everything and couldn't file a single charge anywhere. And then when a little bit later on, they sent in the EPA to charge them all kinds of money and fines, and you got to do this and you got to do that. We're going to back charge you. And I mean, they've had nothing but harassment from the federal government during the Obama administration.
Well, the United Nations, I look at it with a real jaded eye. I don't trust the leadership, if you will, of the United Nations. Never have. I don't trust the controlling thumb that they want on the world and all the countries. I just am very, very worried, especially with the rumors that were flying around when Obama left the presidency, that he might become the leader of the United Nations, and boy, all of a sudden the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I don't trust any group of people from anywhere in the world trying to impose their authority over me as an individual and a citizen of the United States.
Well, I don't either, and that's why we definitely need to get out of it or get control of it. To see this Paris Climate Accord, that's through the UN, and we shouldn't be even contemplating whether we should go back and change our mind. But President Trump, said, okay, we're not going to be part of it, and then it's kind of like, well, maybe we will, and he's got a bunch of Obama leftovers that are trying to push it and get us, well, we don't want to totally abandon that. And Rex Tillerson, who isn't even an Obama holdover, is saying, hey, we should be open to negotiations on staying in that agreement. We just ought to do it. It's a agreement to limit mankind's role in global warming, and you let somebody else be in charge of stuff, and pretty soon they're just siphoning the money right out of the bottom of your purse. You think you got the purse strings, but they're taking the money out the bottom in a hole.
Amen. I want to get to another subject here this morning, also regarding Trump's speech the other day at the UN, and that's, of course, North Korea. I think it was made emphatically clear. There were no gray lines. There were no erasing of red lines. I thought it was very clear. North Korea don't do what you're doing or else. What did you take away from it?
I thought it was pretty good. I just hope that little fat man that he called Rocket Man was insulted enough to decide maybe I should do something different. The problem is I don't see it getting any better, and we better stay right on top of it. And by Trump mentioning it at the UN and about every time he makes any kind of a speech or a comment or a tweet, that's involved in it. And it makes us know that he is interested in keeping them at bay. The big problem is, and this is the part that really worries me, is a few weeks back, I think it was a lady on Fox was interviewing John Bolton, and she was asking him. She was saying, well, so what do you think that we should do here? And he went on to say, we have done for 30 years now is just kick this can down the road and
yes.
said, let's ignore him and everything will be fine, and we'll just hope that we don't have to deal with it, and look what it's got us now. And she said, well, yeah, but if we do something, if it was military or something, what about all those people that would be hurt?
Mm-hmm.
And he turned and looked at her straight in the eye and said, what about Americans? Are we not worried that they're going to harm us? Look where they can send their missiles to, right to us, and that's what their intent is. So what about Americans? And boy, she was flabbergasted, like, oh, but that's the truth. What about America? I mean, we had to go through the same thing in Japan at the end of World War II. There were a lot of people that were killed that really didn't have to be, but by doing what we did, it saved the lives of many hundreds of thousands of people down the road.
Absolutely. I saw that interview, and I thought you summed it up very well, and I was really shocked as to, I guess I could say, the naivete of the female reporter for Fox. Her name is Frances. I've had her on the program, as a matter of fact. She wrote a book recently. She used to be a child star on the TV show called Little House on the Prairie, and her absolute shock of what could happen and her disregard for thinking about the final consequences for Americans in America, I was really, I questioned whether she was adequate to do that interview.
Well, I don't think she was, apparently. But the other thing is maybe we ought to do a poll for Alaskans and Washington people and Oregonians or Washingtonians or whatever, and Californians. Let's ask them if they have even considered how close they are to North Korea, and if they actually send off missiles with nuclear warheads on them, they're going to be the ones that are first in their sights. How do they feel about that? Nobody's talking about it. You can't get somebody to come right out and say, do you understand where those missiles would be aimed at to start with?
Yeah, but
it would be to our west coast. And Alaska's the closest, and then on down the coast.
Well, wait a minute, though, Rita. With the fallout and everything else, the ramifications of having that hit the west coast means we also are going to suffer.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just can't sit back and say, well, maybe we should wait and see if he's really serious about doing something. If he wasn't serious about doing something, he wouldn't have sent two of them over Japan the last few weeks. He's serious. He's trying to make a statement. I don't know whether he's trying to blackmail somebody or whether he's just trying to flex his muscles saying, this is what I'm going to do, or see if we'll start something. But he's serious. Even though he is a nut basket, he is serious.
I'm going to do a weather forecast, and then when we come back, I'm going to ask you questions about what I talked about mostly in the first hour today. Stay tuned. Rita Ramsey with us this morning. Want to have the weather forecast right now. Now, I said you're going to hear some bangs on the program, and I got another one right there. There's a fly that is not going to bother me again. A pretty good shot. Anyway, time for the weather. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. The very best of accounting services to the Mini-Cash area and beyond. For over 50 years, the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, and bookkeeping services, retirement planning. They know, and they can help you with your business and your family situations. Please give them a call. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Well, if we can get through today and tomorrow. It looks like we're going to see some sunshine over the weekend. 60% chance of rain showers for today, mostly before noon. Cloudy skies for the afternoon, high of 49. Going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Tonight, 40% chance of rain showers with a low of 35. That's going to continue for tomorrow with a high of 51. As we get on into the weekend, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-50s to low 60s. That's your weather for us, the Ranch.
Appreciate it, Gina, and really, really good people. I know because we go there. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. The best of CPAs, and they've got 2 offices to serve you in Burley and Rupert. Please take it upon yourself to call, make an appointment today. They can and will help you, your family, and your business. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Rita, I devoted the first hour of our program today to talk about something that really, really bothers me because it involves total disrespect for our country, our flag, and our future. When I saw and learned about this story a couple of days ago about third graders playing football in St. Louis, and one of the teams comprised of mostly black young players, and the coach, a black man, and absolutely denouncing the greatness of America by telling the kids it's okay to take a knee during the national anthem. This is absolutely pathetic because it's breeding a contempt for our country with a generation that in 20 years is going to be taken over. What kind of a situation are we trying to raise?
Well, I think that one of the first things that needs to happen is, of course, and this is my blanket answer for everything, if parents would be responsible, this wouldn't be happening. Those parents would have had discussions with kids about it, and when that was happening, let's just say, if my child would have been out there, this mother would have been out there on the field, just that quick, grabbing somebody's ear, making them stand up and be respectful, and everybody else would have been going, holy cow, that mother is on a roll. But you know what? Because that was the way that I took care of my kids and educated them and taught them, they knew better than to pull stunts like that. And they were also taught the importance of standing up for what is right. And you can ask any student in grade school and junior high and high school, what would be your reaction if you were in a different country? Have you studied and learned how you would be treated in another country with the opportunities and stuff like that? So why would you not want to say, you know what, America's the greatest place in the world that has ever been, and we should respect it and want to keep up with the traditions and obey the laws and keep things going so that we do have the rights. But it all boils down to the parents. Whoever is in charge of the coach or whoever, somebody has to be a director of teams or something. They should have brought that coach in and said, you can have your own feelings, but when you start giving them to a captive audience of little kids, and we're talking kids under the age of 10, you're out of line, Buster, and we're not going to put up with it. And you need to go to the parents and to the kids and tell them you were out of line and tell them that this isn't going to happen again. And you can do whatever you want on your own time, but not when you're here.
And the thing is, and I don't mean to perhaps drag you into a corner with me after I said what I said first hour, but I dare somebody to really come out and tell me, with all the opportunities that are available in this country right now, and there are millions, whether it's a sports opportunity, whether it's a business opportunity, whether it's education opportunities, this country today, as I said first hour, is really tilted to help minorities, but yet they will come out and yell that America is a rotten country and they're oppressed. That is absolutely slovenly attitude and behavior, because they that say that are too lazy to be self-responsible.
Well, the other thing is let's have them go to a different country and see what kind of opportunities are allowed them there. And then after they are allowed opportunities of doing what they've been doing here and see how far that goes, they'll find themselves in salt mines someplace. The big problem is that we have done everything that we could from, repayments to, just everything to make up for any of the shortfalls that have happened over time that you and I are 200 years too young to even understand, and yet they won't take a look at it and say, you know what, we've got so many opportunities here, why would I want to do this? And I still think that it's still a minority of people, and the majority will not stand up and say, no more, we've had it.
I agree. Absolutely agree. And then, in adjacency and conjunction with this story, you have the likes of Representative Luis Gutierrez and the despicable, absolutely despicable woman, Maxine Waters, that are problem creators, not problem solvers. They are problem creators because they're creating more diversity and dissent and divisiveness in this country than ever before.
Well, those two need to be institutionalized in a place for people who really need psychiatric care. They are just absolutely off the rails. That Luis Gutierrez, he just needs to go to Mexico and live out the rest of his life trying to see if he can stir up something. And Maxine Waters, she is an absolute nutbasket, if I must say so. And why the people in her district would continue to reelect her is beyond belief.
I am so sick and tired of seeing little children being led by adults to possibly go down the road to chaos and anarchy against the greatest country in the world. And I'm sickened by this, and somehow, I don't know how, somehow this has got to stop, because these are the future of America, these kids. And my goodness, doesn't that scare you like it scares me?
Well, it does, and this is what happens when we don't teach our kids history. We don't teach our kids about the Constitution. We don't teach our kids about the founding of this country and what horrific things had to happen and the founders and their families had to go through to get the freedoms that we enjoy now. If they knew all of that, there would be a whole different set of people in our snowflake society, and then in the younger ones down, probably even in the 30-somethings that have no idea about it. And I honestly have to say, and this just really bothers me, and I didn't realize it at the time. I never took some of the stances that some of the idiots are taking now, but I wasn't taught anything about the Constitution in my schooling. So I know that it goes back many, many years that they've started let's just take it out, let's just take it out. I mean, I had history, and one of my favorite topics or school studying was about the Revolutionary War and everything that happened there, and then the Civil War and a lot of that. And so I learned a lot through history, even though I didn't have a lot of study with the Constitution. But people have got to start teaching their children about our rights and about the things that we have available to us from our founders. And I think I've mentioned this to you before, but I'd like to bring it up again because Constitution Day was earlier this week.
Right.
One question that people need to ask their neighbor, their kids, whoever, is, so what is the Constitution for? What does the Constitution provide? And one of the first things people will say is, well, it gives me the right to speech, it gives me the right of religion, it gives me... No, that's not it. The Constitution says that the government can't make you not have a gun.
That's right.
Or worship the way that they want you to. The Constitution limits the government in what they can do to the citizens. It doesn't give the citizens the rights. It limits the government, and that's what we need to remember.
I've got to run. I'm out of time, but boy, what a great way to wrap up the program and this segment. Thank you so much, Rita Ramsey. Stay out of the weather. It's going to be chilly and wet outside. God bless, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Rita Ramsey, and very, very well-educated lady when it comes to all the political happenings around our country and around our state. Thank you for being on the program. You know where I'm headed. You've listened enough, and you know what I'm going to say. Mid-morning on a Thursday, and I'm hungry and starving to death. That's why I want to tell you about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, shrimp and fries, fish and chips, chicken fried steak sandwiches, famous Farmer Brown burgers, French fries, special sauce, all the shakes. Oh, my. It's delicious at the AC Drive-In 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland in Burley. Have you had one of those breakfast burritos? Let me tell you. Great. Scrambled eggs, bacon or sausage, or a combination of the both. Cheese, onions, tomatoes, sauce. All on a tortilla shell. Absolutely knock your socks off. Delicious. Stop in to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And how about moving over to Burgers, etc.? 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. They've got a spicy chicken combo. Oh, my goodness. Includes fries and drink. I'm drooling. Sounds great. And every Sunday at the Burley location of Burgers, etc., shrimp dinner only $5.99. Food's great. You're going to love the people at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, move on over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness. They've got cupcakes, brand new to their menu, and you're going to love their cupcakes. And they've got a new salad called the Chaos Salad. Really, really good. Chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers. It's great. And, of course, don't forget Buffalo Burgers and really nice people serving you Monday to Saturday, 11 to 9, Steve-O's in Heyburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. They've got loaded Idaho baked potatoes with all the fixins every Wednesday during lunch. You know all about the great pizzas. You know all about that great salad bar. Well, if you don't, you better get in there today and enjoy great eating at Doc's Pizza on the square in Rupert, 514 6th Street. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Wow, I am. Hey, listen, we're going to take a little break for about 6-7 minutes and listen to the big boys from CBS mess up everything we put together. Then we're coming back next hour, got a whole bunch of guests, and then we're headed for lunch bunch at Denny's. Don't forget that. God bless you. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Welcome back to hour number 3, an abbreviated hour number 3, because I've got to get on the road to go to lunch bunch today. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with a great big fall tire sale going on right now. And also some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. By the way, I want to start this hour out by saying, that the boots for Texas, and I really need your help. We haven't had time this morning to really highlight those boots that I need taken to the Mini-Cassia Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, the Twist family over in Paul, Randy on Overland and Burley. And I need good quality boots that maybe you've outgrown. Maybe the old feet have kind of widened out a little bit or whatever and you can't wear them. But I want good quality boots, please. No rejects, nothing that's all beat up and everything. Tie them together, put the sizes on the bottom with a magic marker or whatever, and take those to the collection points, along with if you've got any old tack that you're not using. I don't mean old and no good. I mean like saddle blankets and maybe some bridles and stuff like that, because those folks down in the greater Houston area have lost everything. And we're trying to put back some of the equipment and footwear that they have lost. And we're going to have a truck and trailer going down to Texas in about 2.5 weeks. So we'll have much more this next week with Marty and Hayden Mickelson. So please take those boots to those drop-off points, as I mentioned just a moment ago. By the way, too, Dr. Bill and all the good folks over at Ark Animal Hospital. If you've got little kitty cats or a great big bunch of roping steers, they can take care of them. They are a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them and can take care of them all. Absolutely. Dr. Bill and the crew at Ark Animal Hospital, it's been voted again Minnecache's best veterinary hospital for multiple years. They're located at 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. The number to call, number to remember, 678-1177. That number again, 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Yes, they do. By the way, too, a couple of other things that I want to remind you of, and that leads us up to Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Do not forget, no, Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. And you want to feel good on the inside when the weather is snowing and blowing. Well, by golly, check it out. Lennox Home Comfort Systems at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call to get more information and possibly up to a $1,600 rebate. You check it out, 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox serving you. We're about ready to go to Cassia County School Days, and I got to tell you that I've had this segment on my show, for a long, long time, and I can't say enough to thank Debbie Critchfield for all of her help, and also our two great sponsors, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, with all the baby material, the clothing, and the furniture, everything, and including all the games and the puzzles and the toys. It's really a family store at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue, Suite E in Burley. Oh my goodness, you can save on medical costs for outpatient surgeries like life-saving colonoscopies, carpal tunnel hand surgery, and so much more. Call 677-8888 and find out more at Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with The Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And with us this morning, we have, Jeannie Allen. Good morning, Jeannie. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? I'm great.
Now, I want to make sure I said the first name right. Do you go by Jeannie or Jean?
Yep, Jeannie is right.
Okay. Now, tell us about what school are you representing?
Actually, I am not working with a school this year, but I am working with all of the secondary social studies teachers and curriculum and with the federal programs.
Okay, now what does it mean in layman's terminology, social studies curriculum? Explain it, please.
Okay, so my job, I work with all of the social studies teachers, grades 7 through 12 in Cassia County School District, to make sure that we have the same curriculum in each high school, because we have 5 high schools in Cassia County.
Right.
So we want to make sure that if students are transferring between schools, we're in the same place and they're not losing big chunks of information that they need that's important.
Yeah, but Jeannie, really my question was not answered. I want to know, and I want my audience to know, what encompasses or what envelops social studies. That's what I want to know about.
Okay, social studies curriculum. All right, so in Cassia County, we teach U.S. government in the 12th grade. We teach economics either in the 11th or 12th grade. And we have U.S. history in the 8th and the 10th and 11th grade, depending on which school for 10th and 11th grade. So they have the first half of U.S. history in 8th grade and then the second half in high school. And then in the 9th grade, we teach a global studies class that is like a geography and culture class and covers a little bit of world history, so the students have some world history background if they're planning to go to college.
Okay, now you mentioned the seniors. What are they getting their senior year of high school?
They're getting U.S. government.
Isn't that a little late for furthering and promoting the greatness of the best country and the best government ever held in the world? Seniors, when they're ready to step out and either go to college or get a job?
I guess you could think that way, but they do have government. They have introduction to government, I guess you would say. Even all through grade school, they have bits and pieces of it. In the 8th grade U.S. history, they do a unit on the Constitution and the beginnings of the country and everything that went into building this country as part of that Constitution unit and building a new nation. And then when they're in high school, it's a more in-depth, and it focuses just on government instead of just the government's role in history.
Now, see, I'm different, and I'm going to be very blunt, and if I create any animus with anybody out in the audience, so be it. But I think as valuable as our country is, and everybody in the world looks to us, the United States, for help, assistance in every regard, I think our students should know how valuable our Constitution is, every bracket of school, whether it's elementary, junior high, or high school. And I really am going to remain firm that I think seniors in high school, their dreams are not about anything about government. They're only about getting out of school and either going to college or whatever. And I think that is a little late for some of these students to really, really appreciate how great America is.
Well, the students should be getting instruction in the Constitution and government. You're right, from K through 12. And in our district, they do. We make sure that, following right along with our Idaho state law, that they have instruction in the Constitution every year, particularly with Constitution Day, which is in September. Every school does Constitution lessons. So anytime that we can put it in and tie it in with something else that we're doing, then that is done.
Okay, now...
So we also teach them, national pride in the nation. The Pledge of Allegiance is every day in every school. They should be learning the national anthem, have instruction in flag etiquette and how to honor the flag. And that's in every school, K through 12, in the Cache County School District.
I really respect that, Jeannie, because I had a teacher, it wasn't that long ago, say, well, we just don't have time for the pledge in my class. And I looked at this teacher with a great disdain because 17 seconds? You don't have 17 seconds to honor our country? That's ludicrous.
To my knowledge, every school in Cache County is doing either the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem every morning.
Great.
And it is an Idaho code. They should be doing it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
They should be doing it with or without the code, but...
Jeannie, teaching social studies and understanding this country, and I'm going to revert back to what I had on my program earlier this morning. Whether you heard it or not, it's irrelevant because I can give you a quick summation. When we have little 8-year-old kids playing for a football team in St. Louis that take a knee basically to honor Colin Kaepernick and his disdain for the national anthem, and the coaches and the parents allow that, we've got a real problem brewing with the younger generation.
I agree. I do agree, and I think that it's our job as their teachers, whether we're teaching social studies or anything else, to teach our students the importance of respecting and honoring your country. I mean, if you disagree with what's going on in the country, then there's definitely a time and a place to voice that discontent. But I think when it's disrespecting your country is not the time and place.
Absolutely. Now, tell me a little bit about the required civics test. Give me some background on this that's required for graduation.
Okay, so the civics test, starting with last year's graduating class, 2016-17, all high school seniors have to pass or have passed previously a civics test as a requirement for graduation in the state of Idaho. This follows with what, last I knew there were 28 other states in the country that also require this for graduation. And the tests are taken right off of the National Naturalization Test from the U.S. government. And they cover the questions cover everything from basic history to symbols of the United States, to important movements in the U.S. history, questions about the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. So, and you can get online and you can see all of those questions. There's 100 of them. So every school in the state of Idaho has to come up with their test and make sure that their students pass it. So they can start taking that as early as the 7th grade and take it as many times as they need to until they pass it. So they have that requirement met for graduation.
I see.
And in our school district, we decided that we were going to really focus in the 9th grade on making sure that our students have passed it by 9th grade, by the end of 9th grade, so that they don't have to worry about that in their 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year when they're doing senior projects and passing their ISAT tests and other things like that. And so we've just started incorporating a little bit of practice every day in our global studies class with some of the questions that are on the test. And we've had great success with it. Our students have been doing wonderful on it. We've had a few that have had to take it a second time, but they were very close in passing it the first. So I think that says a lot for what they are getting in their classes coming up to the 9th grade, that they have that background and that they're able to pass that test on their first try.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you, I don't mean to put you on the spot on this, Jeannie, and maybe you have the stats right there with you, but in regards to what Idaho is doing, and in regards to the civics test and everything else, where do we stand with other states, maybe in the Northwest or the Intermountain West? Are they doing something similar?
Oh, it's been a little while since I read up on that, but last I knew there were 28 other states that do require a civics test for graduation, but I couldn't tell you all of those states. I do believe that most of the states in the western part of the United States require it.
Uh-huh. And what would we have to do to make this a requirement nationwide?
So I think that's when our U.S. senators and representatives come into play, and we would have to petition them to have some kind of bill passed at the national level.
Well, I really respect what you're doing here, and the stories about the students that are graduating with more knowledge about our country and our Constitution. I applaud you. Anything else you want to bring up this morning regarding the social studies?
Just, if you, out there in the community, if people have a chance to show our young people the way we should be acting when the flag goes by.
Absolutely.
When we're discussing our country, it's okay to have different opinions and to discuss those and work towards solutions without being disrespectful to each other.
Amen.
Or to our country.
Amen. Come back again, Jeannie. I really enjoyed talking to you, and tell us more about this in the future, any success stories, etc. Thank you for being on the program this morning.
All right, thank you.
You bet. God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
nice lady right there, and talking about social studies and the civics test, etc., in the Cassia County schools. Lead on. I like that. And, of course, School Days in Cassia County, brought to you by two great businesses, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. Don't forget, everything is always gift wrapped for free, and they've got all kinds of ladies' dresses over there. Everything. You stop in today at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And, of course, be safe, be secure in knowing that Ambulatory Surgery Center, trying to save you money on your outpatient surgeries, you call them at 677-8888. Located at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. Whoa, I got to pay some bills here real quick, and then we'll jump over to our next guest. Do not forget Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Got the telephone number right here for you to call, 436-3200. And they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place for your loved one and able to provide more one-on-one care. Please take the time, give them a call, stop in, take a tour. They'd welcome you. They are the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert, number 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Right now, it is time for our business salute. And this is going to be a real delicious business salute because we're going to be talking to Don Scarrow of Scarrow's Meats. And they are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Don Scarrow, how are you, my friend?
Give us one moment, sir. He's trying to get up out of a rafter.
What? He's getting out of a rafter?
Yeah, like an attic.
I didn't know that he was taking residence up in an attic someplace, but good heavens. We're trying to get him on the line. That's the first time I've ever heard that lateness excuse. I'm getting out of the rafters. Hold on. Anyway, let me know, Wheels, as soon as you can. Don't forget, we're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant in just a few moments. As a matter of fact, at 11:30, we're going to be there for Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Today at 11:30, you be there. Wheels, is he ready?
Yes, sir, he is.
What do you mean you're up in the rafters, Scarrow? What are you doing over there?
I'm putting in I put in a wood-fired boiler that's a heat reclaim system, and I'm heating the office with a wood-fired boiler.
I have never had any of my guests ever say, hey, hold on a minute, Zeb, I'm up in the rafters. I'll be right with you. You're the first.
Well, besides being a meat cutter, I try to be an electrician and a plumber and a construction worker and try to keep costs down as low as I can, do as much as I can over here at this meat plant to keep expanding and making it bigger and better and having fun.
You know, let me ask you, Don, every time I do your commercial, I start drooling, especially when I start talking about the bratwurst with the jalapeno cheddar and the apple cinnamon, the German, the Italian, the chorizos. I mean, how many different products do you have over there in your retail meat department at Scarrow's Meats?
I would have no idea. We change it every single day. We just added 3 new items last week, Zeb. I brought in some meat scientists out of Pennsylvania last week, and we're developing hot dogs and a few new flavors of snack sticks. So it changes. I can tell you I've got 63 different flavors of this, that, and the other, and tomorrow it's going to be 65. So I would have no idea. I know I've got probably 20 different flavors of bratwurst. I got 5 or 6 different flavors of bacon, a half a dozen different flavors of marinated boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and all kinds of marinated steaks and baby back ribs, and you name it, anything that's further processed to help make it easier for the housewife to fix it. Something different for dinner. That's what I'm all about, trying to take care of her and make dinner fun.
You know, Don, let me ask you this. Did you have any idea when you started Scarrow's Meats that it would grow like it has over the years? Did you have any idea what kind of a child you were bringing up?
Absolutely not. I do more in 2 weeks in sales now than my goal was to do in a year.
Wow. Holy cow. And how big an area do you serve on behalf of Scarrow's Meats over in Jerome?
How many what now?
How big an area do you serve as far as customers over there in Jerome? How far do people come to buy your delicious meats?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I have people coming now from Boise. I have people, a huge clientele from Elko, Nevada that drives all the way up here. I've got people from Ketchum, Sun Valley area coming down over as far as Pocatello, a few from Idaho Falls. I've got regular customers that come from Mountain Home every week to buy their meat and stuff from us here at Scarrow Meats.
Well, now tell me a little bit about the location and everything and explain it to my audience. 331 North Road, Jerome. Tell us exactly how to get to your place and really enjoy all the meat that you have available.
Okay. Yeah, we are, the 331 stands for 3 1/3 miles north of Jerome. So if you go into the center of Jerome on Main Street and Lincoln, and you head straight north, that road goes from Lincoln at 1 mile out and turns into North Road. So Lincoln is actually North Road, and we're at 331 North Road, which is 3 1/3 miles north of the very center of town where Lincoln and Main cross
Okay.
You can just go straight north, 3 1/3 miles. We're on the left side of the road. Big blue and white building. We just put in a new paved driveway about 3-4 weeks ago. So it's a little easier to get in and out of. Beautiful big 2,000 square foot full-blown retail area. And just keep making it bigger and better and nicer every day.
Well, let me ask you this then, Don. What are the hours of the retail meat department over there?
We're 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. If you can't get here by 5 on those days, you just give us a call. We're never out of here at 5. That's just kind of a little, everybody says I run on Scarrow time. We're here till 5:36 every single day. So if you're headed this way and it's getting me close to 5, just give us a call. Then we changed our hours, and we are now open on Saturdays from 9 to 1. So every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. we're open, and make it a little easier if the guys can't get here during the week.
Well, I want to tell you how much we appreciate you sponsoring our weather forecast in the morning on my program. Don Scarrow of Scarrow's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. And if you're personally looking for Don Scarrow, always remember to look up because he's up in the rafters, right?
You won't look there very long, but I'm going to be moving. I don't hold still very well, Zeb.
Don, God bless you, man. Thanks for being on the program.
Okay, thanks, Zeb. I appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Don Scarrow, Scarrow's Meats over in Jerome. They really are good folks and delicious, delicious meats of Scarrow's Meats over in Jerome. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes with Gary Shoresman. Don't you dare go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
And thank you very much for tuning back in for our last half hour, an abbreviated half hour, because we're going to be going to lunch bunch here real quick. But I have a dear friend waiting on the line to come on this morning and talk about the 101st Old Settlers Dinner that's coming up this Saturday, September 23rd at the Rupert Elks Lodge in Rupert. 11 a.m. check-in, eat at noon, big turkey dinner. Good morning, Gary Shoresman. How are you?
Go ahead, sir.
Is he there? Good morning, Gary.
There, and he's here.
Okay, good. I'm glad we finally caught you. Hey, Gary, tell us a little bit about what's going to happen at the 101st Old Settlers Dinner this coming Saturday.
Well, first off, we're going to have a great full turkey dinner with dressing and desserts and cobbler and all that kind of good stuff, and salads and vegetables, and it's only $13 for tax and tip included, and you can have seconds. The other thing is we're going to also have a silent auction. The ladies have been bringing in a lot of canned goods and different kinds of things for people to bid on to help us keep going. And then we also have a raffle for people when they come in. Their names are drawn. They get some little prizes and things like that. And then the program, which I put together, is a preview of the book I'm working on at the moment, which is about homesteaders from Black Pine and Raft River, Stand Rod, and those homesteaders 100 years ago that were actually homesteading in the City of Rocks and out to Kamima. And why I picked those particular homesteaders is I also want to add over in the Arbon Valley, Rockland, and south of Rockland, a lot of those people ended up living in Rupert, their descendants, or Burley. But they all had one thing in common, is they came out from different parts of the country, Oklahoma, Utah, and the Dakotas, and homesteaded. But by 1919, 1920, the whole area had a severe drought. Wells and springs dried up. And even the farmers here on the Minidoka Irrigation Project had trouble getting water from Minidoka Dam. There just wasn't any water in that drought. So it was a tough period, but at that point in time, it only took 1 year to have those people lose everything, and they had to move on.
Gary,
profiling about 10
10 different families and homesteaders starting in the 1800s and the areas like Naff and Bridge and Malta and Elba and Almo and Jemima. And I'll have a PowerPoint show of that. And it'll last about 45 minutes to an hour right after dinner.
Okay. Now, Gary, when you did the research for this book, this new book called The Homesteaders, and you do such an excellent job of looking back in history and finding out exactly what they did, how they did it, etc., what maybe surprised you the most about the homesteading in this area?
Well, I guess the thing that I guess surprises me the most, and it's when I stepped out of the box of how I live today versus how my grandparents' generation lived, and how much they did with so little. They moved with their faith and the promise of land for their children and a new way of life. And, they moved from one problem to another in some instances. But water was the most important thing, is the thing that did them all in. And that still surprised. I was surprised in 1919 that with the lack of rainfall in our mountains, like up in the Tetons, these farmers down here were hurting for water. And we don't seem to remember that today a lot. We just have it. We can have our sprinklers, and we can water the roads, and we can do all kinds of good things. But boy, did those people buckle down. They went by buckboard wagons wherever they were, wherever the train ended, or wherever they picked up the wagon and started heading towards their property. And the property was generally bare. They picked a spot that was either out of the wind or had a view or had access to a creek or a stream. And then they set to about building a one-room shack with 10 people.
Wow.
And then they added on, and they went out and planted, and what they found with the dry farmers, that trying to grow a garden had nothing to do with how you would have been in eastern South Dakota or Oklahoma, where they got rain, at least enough for their gardens. But, one of them said they even packed a cow, and the cow walked 40 miles, and when they finally got her there, she wouldn't give milk. So,
oh, my.
It was a surprise for everybody, even the cow and the chickens.
Gary, they lived a very Spartan lifestyle, and like you said, they had very few amenities, and without giving too much away from what you're going to talk about on Saturday, it had to be really tough on the kids growing up with basically nothing. Is that correct?
Well, these kids, most of these, I didn't, any of these families that I have worked on, was the kids were very important, and they were all very much loved, and they all stuck together, and in fact, some of those families are still together today, and they all get along. So it was between the parents. See, in one case, the mother was 16 years old when she gets married, and he's 31, and then they raised 11 children who absolutely spoke highly of both their parents, about how loving and caring they were, and the parents played with them. Though they were out there in the sagebrush, out there and working, and Dad went wherever he did go, they all worried about him. So the kids, while they didn't have what we know today as a lot of toys and things like this, they made up their own toys. They knew how to milk a cow. They rode a horse at 3 years old. They weren't idiots. They were smart, intelligent, learned the ways of the land, and in many ways learned how to survive way early on.
What about the early medicine? I worry about kids will be kids, and, they're falling out of trees, or they're getting scraped and cut, or break a bone in their leg, whatever. What about the early days as far as medicinal help? Were there doctors out here that could go to these homesteaders and help them?
Well, if you get to a doctor, sometimes the doctor was 30 miles away, depending on where you homesteaded, but they had a lot of home remedies. Well, I tell you, they all packed a lot of castor oil, but you could wrap some, you could dilute some lard with some kerosene and put it on a cut, and that'd pretty well take care of that. Or you do mustard plasters and things like this. But if you had broken bones, one was one of the sisters was shaking a rug out the door, cleaning the house, and the little 7-year-old brother is sitting on the back of a horse without a saddle, and she snapped that and shook the rug, and the horse jumped from the sound, and he fell off and broke his leg above his knee. Well, they went to what they called a bone center about 6 miles away, and they didn't have anything. So my grandmother took the shades down with sticks in them, the laughs that were in the window shades, and they used those as splints for that leg to get him to the doctor. But if not, it was Grandpa who said it, and they'd wrap it and hope for the best.
Oh, my. Well, I think this is going to be really exciting. How many years have you put this dinner on? I know it's the 101st, and you certainly haven't put on all of them. So when did you start doing this?
I started this when I moved back here in 1999. I started going, and that was kind of the end of when it used to be that they honored the settlers who were 65 years and older. And it started back in 1916. The Mormons actually started it with honoring their seniors, and the Mormon Church still does that today. But about 1916, 17, in there, it became more of a, rather than a church individual effort, the community took it on, so all different denominations of churches and people who didn't go to church and communities began it. And so there was about 3 different startings, but the other one was 1918, just depending on who was heading it up. But actually from 1916, so this makes the 101st year that we honor our old settlers. And old meaning our first settlers, meaning the people who came here and homesteaded. And now, in the 1950s, we ended up with many more homesteaders. So we had just decided I'm a grandson of an old settler, and as is everybody else on the board. Alpha Mahler is the president, and her husband is a grandson of a settler out of Kamima. And Debbie Henscheid, or Povelson, she's our secretary, and her grandfather came here in 1905 and opened the first trees and nurseries, the Henscheid Floral, and brought his expertise and sold the first box of apples and tomatoes in Rupert. Excuse me. And then we have Shirley Davidson West, who is our vice president, and she's also... her family came here way early on, and she's married to Bob West, and they live on the, it was a Centennial Farm in 1905. So they still live in that same place. So here we are coming from many different old-timers, and we're actually celebrating them and keeping their memory alive and remembering why we're here and how we got here.
Absolutely. Gary, I've got about 2 minutes left in this segment, and I want you to tell everybody again about the 101st Old Settlers Dinner this coming Saturday. Give us all the particulars.
It's at the Rupert Elks. We start signing people in about 11 o'clock. It's kind of their little meet and greet thing, and then right at 12 o'clock noon, we start down with a sit-down dinner. They actually bring the bowls of food, potatoes and gravy and vegetables and turkey platters and all of this. And then, of course, dessert and drinks. And that's all $13. Tax and tip is included. And then with the silent auction, and then we have our raffle, and then our PowerPoint program. And if it's possible, if they could give me a call at 436-3982 and leave a message as to how many people might be coming, so that the cooks at the Elks would have an idea of how many people they're going to be serving. And at this point, we have about 70 reservations, so that's pretty good.
Okay.
So anyway, that is what will be going on Saturday.
Well, I want to commend you on everything you do is always first class. Gary Shoresman with the 101st Old Settlers Dinner coming up this Saturday at the Rupert Elks Lodge at noon. Great big turkey dinner, and then this year's theme, the Homesteaders. It's going to be excellent. It's going to be great. Gary, God bless you, and thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Amen and hallelujah, Zeb.
Okay, buddy, thank you.
Be a good boy.
All right, thank you much. There's a good friend of mine, Gary Shoresman, and I really appreciate him being on the program this morning. Hey, time for the weather, brought to you by Scarrows Meats. We just talked to Don about 10 minutes ago. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. Go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Delicious. All the brats, the pastrami, the jerky, the steaks, you name it, it's all great at Scarrows Meats. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Well, if we can get through today and tomorrow, it looks like we're going to see some sunshine over the weekend. 60% chance of rain showers for today, mostly before noon. Cloudy skies for the afternoon, high of 49. Going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Tonight, 40% chance of rain showers with a low of 35. That's going to continue for tomorrow with a high of 51. As we get on into the weekend, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-50s to low 60s. That's your weather for us, Debbie Durant.
Appreciate it, Gina, and brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Talk to Don. He was up in the rafters this morning. Okay, at 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Scarrows Meats. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. I am going to be leaving here in just a couple of minutes and heading down to Burley to go to Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 North Overland in Burley, and we urge you to come on down. We've got a lot of great people that have donated gift certificates for our drawings, and they are Walmart, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. Always is at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. Don't forget our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're doing the right thing matters. They do, all the time. And they've got a great big fall tire sale going on right now. All the passenger car tires like the Eclipse, on sale. Premium traction, superior ride quality, it's on sale for you right now. Stop in for your pickup and SUV tires, whatever you need tires for. Now is the time to get ready for the fall and the winter. Don't forget, too, the best in brake service and front-end alignments and shocks and struts. Batteries, really important batteries. You check it out today. With the 7 locations, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, the best. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wheels, are you gonna go to Lunch Bunch?
I am. I had also let my mom know, and so my mom's going to come down to Lunch Bunch.
Oh, we'll look forward to seeing her there, and you. I noticed that you're always on your best behavior when Grandma and Mom are there.
Yeah, or either, yeah, pretty much, or either or.
Okay.
Either way how you want to word it.
Okay.
They definitely do keep me in line.
What was this about the old wooden spoon when you were a little boy? What was that called?
It was called a paddle stick.
The paddle stick. Okay.
Paddle stick.
Listen, man, I appreciate what you're doing, and play a couple of tunes. I've got to get on the highway and head down there. Zeb at the Ranch for this week. Adios, amigo. And we will see you next Monday at 8:06, where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be. God bless. Have a great weekend.